We've seen celebrities endorsing products for years. You became a stakeholder and developed your own over the last few. Why make this change? You just wanted to make more dough?
Well, no, the opposite, apparently. No, you know, I think that I started questioning being hired as a face for companies to represent, and I always worked with companies that I respected and that I was a customer of anyway, but I started to question, you know, as I'm doing this business on the side and building this brand, you know, what would it be like if I were to channel the power of that into my own brand and to kind of that the equity be not only, you know, it would be sweat equity that I had put into the company, but also my actual equity, and wouldn't it possibly be more meaningful for me in the long run if it was a business that I owned a significant share of? Did you realize you would be taking on so much more risk? I didn't. I was a fool. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But it's been, I have to say, it's been incredibly rewarding, and I learn so much every day, and we're at a really exciting time in the business right now, and it's amazing to be, you know, the creative force and also to be understanding what's going on the fiscal side and with raising money and all of that. It's very challenging, you know. It's a side to me that I didn't necessarily know that I possessed. What has fundraising been like for you? I mean, traditionally, people know and love Gwyneth Paltrow. Everyone likes you. Everyone is your fan. But then you had to sit across the table from VC guys and bankers and potential investors and say, you might like me, but do you want to invest in me? What has that been like? It's definitely been an interesting experience out of my comfort zone. You know, obviously my pedigree is the entertainment business. It's a much different business. And it's vulnerable and challenging and wonderful and exciting to put yourself in a situation where, you know, you're laying out your idea and your numbers and your open rates and your revenue and seeing, you know, that people are interested in becoming involved in the business and becoming partners with you in the business. I still struggle with it ideologically a little bit, only because, you know, when those VCs come in, then you're sort of, you know, beholden to them and the bottom line. So, you know, I have trepidation about it, but it's also exciting. Goop has gotten criticized before for not understanding the consumer, but is it the consumer that doesn't understand? Because you know who your customer is, and she might not be mass market. I think that there is sometimes some miscommunication. You know, we aren't a super luxury site, but we're aspirational. We have things on there that cost $4. We have things on there that cost, you know, $500. And I think sometimes I think that some of the criticism that Goop gets is because people haven't actually gone to the site and looked around and see what we actually are. Now that you actually are invested in some products, does it make it hard for you to recommend other businesses that you don't have a stake in? I don't think so, because, first of all, we'll always, you know, at the core of our business is the authenticity and the trust. And the reason why our open rates are so high and the reason why people come back and back and back is because they trust us. They trust that the information is good. They trust that a recommendation is real. And so we know that at Goop, and we will never do anything to breach that trust. But there are ways, you know, we've figured out that we can actually run a business and generate revenue that are in line with the specific brands, the ethos of those brands, and what we're trying to achieve. One thing I notice about Goop, your face isn't everywhere. If I looked like you, all it would be pictures of me on Twitter, Instagram, and the website. And I know your voice is there and your influence, but we don't see you everywhere. How come? I very much want Goop to be its own standalone brand. I know that at this point in time, it's inextricably linked with me, but we really are a team of amazing people who bring incredible ideas to the site, and it's not only me. And, you know, my dream would be that in 20 years, people would sort of recollect that I maybe had something to do with it at one point, and, you know, my involvement would be less essential. And I think that's what we're building towards, and I think we're doing it, and it'll be interesting to see. You know, I never wanted to do a proprietary brand. I wanted it to be its own thing, you know, that my children can run one day if they want to. All right, your toughest job, getting your dream role, getting investors to back Goop,
getting customers to want to go on to Goop and buy product, or getting your kids to do their homework? Toughest job?
Definitely getting Moses to do his homework. That's my toughest job for sure.